Somewhere in your house right now, there's a dog bed, unused, probably still has a tag on it. And your dog? They're pressed against your legs, sprawled across 2/3 of your mattress, dreaming about whatever dogs dream about, while you negotiate for 6 inches of space like you're the guest. Most people chalk it up to habit, or neediness, maybe just body heat. But the real answer runs much deeper than that. What your dog is communicating every single night, through that quiet act of curling up beside you, is one of the most sophisticated biological signals in the animal kingdom, and almost no one knows it. Let's dismantle the warmth theory first because it's the obvious explanation and it's wrong. Yes, dogs get cold. Yes, you're warm. Fine. But your home is full of warm things. Sun patches on the floor, the spot behind the couch where the heating vent blows, your old hoodie crumpled by the door. If temperature was the objective, they'd have plenty of options. They keep choosing you specifically. Here's why that matters. Sleep is the most dangerous moment in any animal's existence. Every survival instinct honed across thousands of years of predator and prey says the same thing. Find somewhere hidden, find somewhere safe, and don't let your guard down. And yet your dog, carrying those same ancient instincts, walks right past every quiet corner, every shadowed hiding spot in your home, and climbs up next to a creature 10, 15, sometimes 20 times their size. That's not thermoregulation. That's trust at its most primal. Researchers at Eötvös Loránd University in Budapest wanted to understand what's actually happening inside a dog's brain when they bond with a human. So they borrowed a test from developmental psychology, the strange situation procedure originally designed to measure attachment between human infants and their mothers, and adapted it for dogs. What they found stopped the scientific community cold. Dogs form attachment bonds with their owners that are functionally identical, not similar, identical to the bond a child forms with a parent. The same pull toward closeness, the same visible distress during separation, the same visible relief when reunited. 61% of dogs tested were classified as securely attached, almost exactly the same percentage as human children. Read that again slowly. When your dog chooses to sleep beside you at their most vulnerable, unconscious, unguarded, completely still, they are performing the most fundamental act in attachment psychology. They're not being needy. They're saying you are the safest thing in their world. But here's where the story stops being psychology and starts being something stranger, something chemical. In 2015, a research team at Azabu University in Japan ran an experiment measuring oxytocin levels in 30 dog owner pairs. Oxytocin is sometimes called the bonding molecule. It's the same neurochemical released when a mother holds her newborn for the first time, the one that says, "This person is mine and I am safe." They measured what happened when dogs and owners simply looked at each other. The result was extraordinary. Both species surged simultaneously. The dog's oxytocin spiked. The owner's oxytocin spiked, which made the dog want to hold the gaze longer, which pushed more oxytocin, which deepened the owner's sense of connection, which made them hold eye contact even longer. A loop. A self-reinforcing neurochemical loop between two different species that no other animal on Earth participates in. They tested it with wolves raised by humans from birth, animals that had every environmental advantage a dog has. The loop never activated, not even close. This response co-evolved. It was built, gradually, across thousands of years of dogs and humans existing together. A biological conversation written into the chemistry of two separate brains, and physical contact amplifies it. Even 10 minutes of petting measurably reduces cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone, in both you and your dog. Now imagine what 8 hours of sleeping side by side does to that system. Here's a question almost no one asks. When did this actually begin? Because dogs are the only animal humans domesticated before we invented farming, before cities, before writing, before almost everything that defines civilization. Around 15,000 years ago, some estimates push further. Wolves began approaching the edges of human camps. Not the bold ones, not the aggressive ones, the calm ones, the ones curious enough to linger and relaxed enough not to bolt. Those animals survived slightly better. They passed on that temperament. Their offspring were a little calmer, a little more comfortable near people. Repeat that for hundreds of generations, and you don't have wolves anymore. What you have are dogs. And the evidence of what followed is buried in the earth. In Germany, archaeologists uncovered a burial site 14,000 years old. Two humans interred together, and beside them, two dogs. One of those dogs had survived a bout of severe canine distemper, a disease that kills within weeks without intensive care. That animal had been nursed back to health by someone, fed, protected, kept warm for over a month while it was too weak to help itself. 14,000 years ago. These weren't tools. These weren't working animals kept at arm's length. They were family. And genetics confirms it. Domestic dogs carry specific insertions on chromosome 6 in a region linked to social bonding, trust, and the compulsive need to seek human contact. Wolves carry none of them. Dogs weren't just trained to want to be near us. They were built for it. Your dog circling your mattress isn't a quirk. It's 15 millennia of selection pressure pointing at one behavior. Now, here's the part of this story that nobody expects. A team at the Mayo Clinic ran a study tracking sleep quality in 40 adults and their dogs using clinical-grade sleep monitors on both species over 7 consecutive nights. The data was clear. Objective sleep quality went down. Dogs move. They reposition. They stretch at inconvenient moments. The numbers didn't lie. And yet almost every single participant reported feeling more rested, more comfortable, and more secure with the dog in the room. How do you explain that? A researcher at Canisius College surveyed nearly 1,000 women and found dogs consistently rated as less disruptive than human sleeping partners and more emotionally reassuring. Her follow-up research used motion sensors to find the mechanism. Owners were waking microscopically every time the dog shifted. Brief enough to never form a memory, frequent enough to show up on the tracker. The body noticed, the mind didn't. The physical interruptions were real, but the felt sense of safety was stronger. And maybe that's not a contradiction. Maybe that's a window into something older than modern sleep science. For most of human history, we slept in groups, huddled together. The solo bedroom in perfect silence is a recent invention, a few hundred years old at most. Perhaps sleeping beside a warm, familiar, breathing creature isn't disrupting our rest. Perhaps it's reactivating a system so ancient we forgot we had it. A 2024 study from the University of Jyväskylä in Finland took this further than anyone had before. Researchers tracked heart rate variability, a precise measure of how the autonomic nervous system is functioning, essentially how calm or activated your stress response is, in 30 dog owner pairs across 6 different conditions. High heart rate variability means your body is regulated, relaxed, recovering. Low means your system is braced for something, and what they found was this. Across every single condition, the HRV patterns of dogs and their owners move together. Not identically, but in sync. When the owner's nervous system settled, the dog settled. When stress spiked in one, the other shifted. The synchronization was strongest during rest. They ran the same protocol with dogs and strangers. No connection. Flat. The synchronization is specific to the bond. What this means is that when your dog sleeps beside you, something deeper than comfort is happening. 2 nervous systems from 2 completely different species are quietly regulating each other across the night. Your calm shapes their calm. Their calm shapes yours. That's not sentiment. That's neuroscience. There's one more thing, and this might be the most important thing in this video. If your dog has slept beside you for months, maybe years, and one night they just stop, pay attention. Don't rationalize it. Don't assume they've decided they prefer the floor. Dogs are creatures of deep habit. When an ingrained behavior disappears without warning, there's always a reason. Sometimes it's environmental, a new animal in the home, a shift in your schedule, a smell they can't identify. Dogs read their environment at a sensitivity we can barely imagine, and what registers as trivial to us can feel genuinely destabilizing to them. But sometimes it's physical. Veterinary researchers have identified changes in sleep location as among the earliest behavioral indicators of pain, emerging before limping, before stiffness, before any sign you'd recognize as illness. A dog who stops jumping onto the bed may not have changed their preference. They may be hurting and have no other way to tell you. In older dogs, disrupted sleep patterns are the defining symptom of canine cognitive dysfunction, the neurological decline that mirrors human dementia, affecting an estimated 35% of dogs over 8 years old. Your dog has no language. Behavior is the only vocabulary they have. If the ritual changes, listen. So the next time you find yourself clinging to the edge of your own mattress at 3 in the morning, 80 pounds of dog sprawled across the rest of it, consider what's actually happening. Your dog walked past the couch, past the floor, past the perfectly comfortable dog bed you bought them, and they found you. Because 15,000 years of evolution built them for exactly this. Because a neurochemical loop that no other species on Earth shares with us quietly activates every time you are together. Because an attachment system deep enough to mirror the bond between parent and child found its anchor point, and it's you. Sleeping beside you isn't instinct overriding reason, it is the reason. And the science quietly suggests it might be doing something for you too. If this changed the way you see your dog, hit subscribe and leave a comment. Tell me where your dog sleeps tonight. And if you want to understand why your dog watches you with that particular kind of stare, that's the next video. The science behind it is even more unsettling than you'd expect.